Who will finish higher at the end of this season, Chelsea or Manchester United? Nubaid and Abbi are about to debate this one. Nubaid, I'm going to come to you first. Who do you think will finish higher out of these two?
I believe it's a no-brainer. Chelsea. I think so far from what I've seen, better signs. They just need someone to put the ball in the back of the net. Whereas for Manchester United, even when they put the ball in the back of the net, they still only just about win games. They've got Cole Palmer, who I think is one of these players that he's going to grow into the season. They've got a younger squad. They've got loads of injuries in key areas. Obviously, Manchester United have as well. Abbi, before you jump at me. I also think they've got a better quality squad over the long run when push comes to shove, as we're seeing now. Although Chelsea have a lot of injuries, I still think they've been unlucky in a lot of games, whereas United are actually losing games because they are bad. Very, very bad. And so I just have a feeling that Chelsea will at some point get going. My only worry with Chelsea is the next fixtures are horrific. So they've got to survive the next 5 or 6. And then they've got a really nice run of 7 or 8 games. And I feel Chelsea are just better than Manchester United.
Oh,
Okay,
I mean,
I
there's some fixtures there that you just glossed over. You know, they've got to come to Spurs. They play City, they play Brighton, they play Newcastle, and then I think they also play United, and which could be El Sacico at that point. But I definitely think United finish higher. I do think there might be a change of manager during this period of time as well, which again gives everyone a boost. And they've got players coming back, important players, Casemiro, Martinez, they're all going to come back. Rashford at some point is going to hit some type of form as well. No, he is. He's going to hit some form. Luke Shaw, they've been without all of their key players as well. I think the difference with Chelsea is that they're still figuring out who and what they are, to be honest. I think Pochettino doesn't really know what his strongest 11 is. When people come back from injury, I mean, he's got to basically relearn that as well, because he hasn't had the time to play them. They've been injured for so long. So I think that United inevitably will cash in on a new manager. I think Ten Hag will probably be old news at some point. And then what we always tend to see, that new manager bounce, players, they put their tools down, don't they? They don't want to play for him. Pick them back up again when they've got someone new that comes in. And
Banking on a sack.
I just think there's a second. I've always thought that both these teams, to be honest with you, would finish outside of the top 4. I think earlier in the season, I predicted before a ball was kicked, I think I had United 6th, then I had Chelsea 9th. Some people might say that's
I
being biased,
rate it,
but
it's looking good.
It's looking nailed on at the moment. I think from a United perspective, we do know that they can build something there, even if Ten Hag did magically stay. They still have managed to grind out results, maybe not in the last few weeks, but for how poorly they've been playing, they've still picked up points, and they are still there is still something about United that says to me, when I look at the two
That's
of them,
history.
it's
That's
not
history.
history. There's
I'm
just something
sick
when I
of-
look at the two sides, I still think United with a new manager will probably get over the line more than Chelsea.
You spoke about the long term with this young squad. We didn't talk about long term. We're talking about just this season. So are they going to ripen in time?
Well, on the flip side, you have United who are de-ripening.
They're going
and
off.
de-ripening very quickly. Whereas I also think with United, you know exactly what you're going to get, and we're not getting it. So you're going, you know what Bruno's going to deliver, Rashford, Casemiro, etc., but we are not getting it. Whereas with this Chelsea side, you're going, well, Nicholas Jackson could come good, and I think he will eventually. Sterling still needs to come good. They've got so many players, a long list of players that you only need 1 or 2 to go, I'm going to just turn it on for the next 10 games, and they will pick up points like no man's business, because they're actually not playing badly. That's where I'm...
like no man's business.
Oh, listen, one thing I just cannot get behind is, because it's United, they'll come back. That doesn't even exist
They
anymore.
know there's going to be a new manager. I think we're all getting
So
to the
what you're
point.
saying is United finish higher if there's a new manager?
They will have a new manager at some point. Like, I think that is inevitable. The writing is pretty much on the wall now that they will cash in. Well, regardless of who they get in, I mean, I've got this feeling that Antonio Conte potentially could end up in Manchester.
He would hate that.
And that would be the worst possible thing that could happen to them. But I think that the one benefit from maybe a Chelsea perspective is you've also got, they've got no European football, whereas United do have that. But then again, they could easily go out next week.
True.
So,
Well, I've got a couple more games than that, but yeah, I get your point. I lean towards my predictions at the start of the season. I actually said Man United would just sneak above them, but I kept swapping them both, much to the dismay of our producer Jake. So I feel like I'm seeing a little bit more from Chelsea at this stage. So I personally think that Chelsea might just finish a little bit higher. But what do you guys think? Also, what's another word for de-ripening? Let us know in the comments down below.
Mouldy, right? Mouldy.